my viewers, it's nice having you again on our program, The Gallery. My name is Mercy Alexander, and today on our program we have a special guest in the house. He is the distinguished Senator Olorunnimbe Mamora. He's also a one-time Lagos State House of Assembly Speaker. So sit and enjoy the rest of the program.
Our guest for this week on The Gallery is Senator Adeleke Olorunnimbe Mamora. Senator Adeleke Olorunnimbe Mamora was born on the 16th February 1953. He obtained a BSc in Health Science and a Bachelor of Surgery (MBS) at University of Ile-Ife and became a health practitioner. He was a medical director of the Medical Center in 1987 to 1998 and a company medical advisor. Mamora was a national delegate for the National Republican Convention (NRC) in 1990 and a secretary for Lagos East of the United Nigeria Congress Party (UNCP) in 1998. He was elected to the Lagos State House of Assembly in 1999 and was appointed Speaker. He was the chairman of the Conference of the Speakers of 2000 to 2001. Mamora was elected to the Senate in April 2003 and re-elected in 2007. He was also a member of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, in 2003 and 2006. In 2003, he was appointed the chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions.
Hello, it's nice having you today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for looking out for me.
Oh, no, we should be thanking you for giving us the privilege to be with you today.
It's my pleasure.
Yes, now. Sir, let's talk about yourself. How has it been? How did you start your life? How did you start politics?
Well, you see, one thing I always say is that, professionally, I'm a medical practitioner.
Okay.
And I say that as a medical practitioner, you are ministering onto the health needs of your patients. And you're doing that within the comfort, most times, within the comfort zone. That is, you are in your consulting office, you are seeing your patient, you're interacting, and then you're ministering to the health needs. So, and you succeed in getting that patient out of a crisis situation or near crisis situation, and then you provide the care, the patient gets well or gets better. So if you now take that to the larger society, politics is about finding answers or solutions to the societal challenges, whether in the area of infrastructure, in the area of social or political life of the people in the community, in the state, and of course the nation and the humanity at large. So that's what politics is all about. So right from my childhood, that has been an area of interest, and more so because my own parents, particularly my dad, was also politicians.
Now, sir, what prompted you into politics? The fact that your father is also a politician, so tell me what prompted you into politics.
Well, taking cue from what I told you earlier, I developed interest seeing, the hosting of meetings of political associations and electioneering campaign and all that. Also, the political meetings taking place in my dad's compound, and then the politicking that went on then. I was, even from my childhood, I was fascinated.
Okay.
Then, growing up, getting into secondary school, going to university, I was also part of the politicking, in the student unionism, in my university days. Then, University of Ife, now Buffalo University. So, and then, graduating from the university, and then even in my practice, medical practice, patients will come after ministering to their health needs. You start discussing politics, discussing the affairs of the state, affairs of the country, and so I was being. I got a prodding, so to speak, to go out there. I got all the encouragement from particularly my patients and the people within the community where my hospital is located. They encouraged me that go out there and it's not enough for you to stay within your comfort zone and all that. So, and somehow along the line, I had to hit that call, and that was in 1999 when I then really came out fully to contest election to the State House of Assembly in Lagos.
And at that time, you were one of the fourth Lagos State House of Assembly Speaker. During your tenure, what was your achievement?
Well, I got elected to the Lagos State House of Assembly in 1999 from Bishop Constituency 1 in Lagos. And I was subsequently elected as a speaker in 1999 when the military were leaving the stage. And well, if you ask me about my achievement, I would not want to arrogate the achievement. I would not want to talk about personal achievement as a member representing Bishop Constituency 1. But I'd rather talk about the achievement of the Lagos State House of Assembly under my speakership. Because whatever we did then couldn't have been done just by myself.
Alone.
It was done in collaboration and with the support of my other colleagues, 39 other members of the State House of Assembly then. And if you ask me, one of the things that I would consider the greatest achievements of that assembly was achieving a conducive atmosphere, a peaceful atmosphere in the state, which was very necessary for any meaningful development, any meaningful achievement by the government at that point in time. I'm saying this against the backdrop of, you recall then that in 1999, shortly after we were inaugurated, there were allegations against the then governor, and this caused virtually complete stoppage, as it were, of governance. The cloud of anxiety over the state was so palpable that the wheel of governance virtually came to stand still. So, as elected representatives of the people, we had to move in to arrest the situation. We looked at the allegations against the then governor, I was Governor Olorunnimbe. We looked at the allegations, and then we set up an investigative body to look at all this. And then we were able to to lay the whole thing to rest. And then resolving whatever issues that were there to now create a conducive atmosphere for good governance. And that was the beginning of the achievement of of that period, particularly under the then governor, Tinubu, and who, to all intents and purposes, remains the architect of modern Lagos in terms of achievements starting from his tenure in 1999. And if we didn't have that level of collaboration, that level of synergy between the executive and the legislature, Lagos will not be what it is today. I make bold to say this. And now I give all the glory to God, and of course I also thank my colleagues then in the Lagos State Assembly who were able to resolve the issues amicably and then lay the whole thing to rest, and then face the issue of governance. And whatever you are seeing in Lagos today started from that point in time. So if you now go to specifics, of course, one of the things that I will not forget easily was that bill, the private member's bill, the bill for an act, or the bill for a law to set aside 15% of the capital project for the development of the state constituencies, which was referred to then as the constituency project development law. Of course, that was one bill that we had to pass.
Well, that's very wide explanation, which was really well understood. Now, sir, you were a two-term senator from 2003 to 2011. What were you able to do during this time for your people, for your constituency?
Let me say that, again, I thank God for the grace, for the opportunity to have represented my constituency, that's Lagos East Central District, in the Senate for 2 terms, 2003 to 2011. I was re-elected in 2007 for the second term. Don't forget that prior to that, 1993, I was Speaker. So it was an opportunity for me to follow up with what we did in terms of creation. Lagos State was one of the very first states that created new local government, which we did in 2002 or thereabout. So getting to the Senate in 2003 was an opportunity for me to follow it up in terms of getting this newly created local government admitted into the Constitution. Because you recall that following the creation of the new local government and submitting the whole process and the outcome to the National Assembly, the National Assembly was supposed to now admit them into the Constitution. But this was not done, and you recall that the funds to local governments were withheld by the then federal government, and we had to go to court. We went as far as the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled that we had fulfilled all righteousness. It was now for the National Assembly to do the needful, which was not done. But to the extent that the National Assembly had not been able to do the needful, then those local governments, they became inchoate. That's the word used, inchoate. But then we also tested the law further, and the Supreme Court ruled that in spite of being inchoate, the federal government did not have the powers to withhold the funds. And these funds were withheld for so long until the presidency of the late
Yaradua of blessed memory. He was the president that then released the funds. So, getting to the Senate, one of the very first assignments in the area of lawmaking was to present a bill for an act to admit the newly created local government in Lagos into the schedule of the Constitution. So, but of course, don't forget that I was a minority member. I'm speaking from minority. So, but it never really passed. That bill was not allowed to pass. So that was the first thing. Secondly, in the area of lawmaking for me, I had the privilege of sponsoring a bill, National Tobacco Control Bill, which again was to control the ills of tobacco smoke, particularly to non-smokers. And one of the things we achieved through that bill is to limit what you can call passive smoking. Passive smoking, that is, you are in an environment of smokers. You are not the ones smoking, but you are inhaling. So, that people can smoke. And then we also wanted a situation where the packs of cigarettes can carry the warning, in pictorial form and all that. So just tobacco control, just limit that those under 18 do not have access to obtaining. So those are some of the things that we try to do in that bill. So many motions affecting the lives of the people of Lagos and of course the entire country as a whole. But these were through representation. The area of I did what was expected of me in the area of that's oversight function. By my membership, so many committees, I was a member of the committee on works, I was a member of the committee on health. So the oversight functions expected of me, of course, not necessarily me alone now, but as a committee. Under my part of my oversight, under the chairmanship of the late late senator from Niger State, was then the chairman of that committee, that we were able to fix that road. It was really bad then at that point in time. So, in terms of my oversight, in all the folks, because you will not do that alone, you will do that in addition with your other members. So, for all the communities I belong to, health, the code of ethics, code of conduct, and public petitions, and of course, you recall that even in the code of conduct, the Bagada playground, which has now been built into mini stadium, that place would have been taken over by some private concerns. But thank God, it was at the period when I was chairman, Senate Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct, Public Relations, that we were able to recover that place. If we didn't recover it at that point in time, that place would have gone to some private concern for one thing or the other. But thank God it's there now, which is now a public place where people now engage in so many. Yes, I think so. That is also there. Then, of course, confirmation of appointment. That is, that in terms of you recall that when I was in the Senate, there was a particular situation when in fact, the deputy chairman of a major opposition party was coming to be confirmed as a minister. My grounds then, and I rose up on the floor to oppose his confirmation. My grounds was not the fact that he was nominated, that particular candidate. My grounds was based on the fact that as at the time he was coming forward to, confirmation hearing, the case against, brought by his party against the incumbent president then was yet to be resolved in court. And I felt that that was morally wrong. So, it was stepped down for a while. It was stepped down. So what I'm saying is that that was what I felt was expected of me as someone who was there to defend the rights of the people out there. Because I always say that the legislature, we say the judiciary is the last hope of the people through the court. But for me, I also add that the legislature is the first. The judiciary is the last, but the legislature is the first hope. So it was in an attempt to defend the rights and the expectations of the people.
Hello, my name is Mercy Alexander, and I'm the CEO of Olorunnimbe Concept and the Gallery on TV, also the founder of Olorunnimbe Foundation. Please, I will beg and I will urge you people to support us, especially in the area of our foundation, helping out the children on the street by giving them their basic education, which is extremely important. And if you cannot reach us from wherever you are, you can also do that in your various countries. Please, try as much you can do to help a child. Giving them back their education is extremely important. Thank you. I love you all, but God loves you best. Bye-bye. Welcome back. It's just a short break to stretch. Probably the reason why there's some disagreement in the house. Let me call it the house because it's a show.
Yes, in fact, it's normal. It should be, in fact, it would be abnormal not to have, disagreements. Which, for me, for as long as these things are not personalized, for as long as disagreement, you can disagree even on, on principles. You may think that, well, you have your own principle, it's proper and right to do. Somebody else may hold. If you have disagreements or even if you have, let's even use the word rancor from what, yes, from what you said. If you have rancor and to the best of my knowledge, we don't. I don't think we have rancor in up to 1,000 out of 8,000. So what percentage is that? so it's not known to me that we have rancor in 1,000 words out of over 8,000. So what percentage is that? As to be able, as to now completely say that the exercise is rancorous. No, I would disagree with you. Now, if you go to the local government again, we have over 774 local governments in the country, constitutionally recognized. I'm not even talking about states that have even broken, they have created additional local governments. But let's even say the local governments recognized by the Constitution. What I'm saying is that we should not, be afraid to have disagreement or rancor. But what is important for me is the ability to use the machinery, internal machinery, or internal mechanism for conflict resolution to resolve issues. That's all. That's all we need to move forward.
Wow, my viewers, I'm sure you will enjoy today's episode of the program, and I'm sure you have learned one or two things. Anyway, time is not on our side, but if you want to be part of our program, why don't you call us on the number on your screen and follow us on all our social media. And I remain your host, Mercy Alexander. Bye and have a wonderful week.